From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway. This is your News 8 Daily 8 for Thursday, May 18th. Another gorgeous day in store for us this Thursday. Bright skies, light winds out of the south are going to make for a very comfortable mid-May day. One difference from yesterday that we should note is that there is that wildfire smoke above us. It's going to thicken a bit, but this will stay well above us in the atmosphere. This is the wildfire smoke coming from Canada, very far away. No air quality issues are expected our way, but you will be able to see it. Kind of looks like clouds out there a little bit. Highs are going to get into the mid-70s. A judge is set to sentence Kegan Kline today on 25 child porn charges. Someone close to Kline now says she thinks he is linked to the Delphi murders. Kline's girlfriend spoke with our partners at the Murder Sheet podcast. She says she found explicit pictures on his phone and deleted the app he used to make the fake Anthony Shots profile. Kline admitted to using the profile to get nearly 100 sexually explicit photos and videos of underage girls. The account has been linked to the Delphi murders, though Kline has never been named a suspect. Indiana State Police do confirm Kline used the profile to exchange messages with 14-year-old Libby German. As we know, police found German and Abby Williams murdered in February of 2017. A transcript of a state police interview suggests Kline was exchanging messages with Libby, even discussing meeting up in the days before the killings. Sources tell iTeammate that Kline's own words triggered the weeks-long search of the Wabash River last year, indicating to investigators they would find evidence in the river connected to the Delphi murders. Kline's ex-girlfriend says she was living with Kline when he was arrested. She said in her words, "You can't tell me he was texting one of the girls to meet on the bridge the days before the murders occurred, and he knows nothing about it. It doesn't add up." Kline told the judge back in March that he understands the consequences of pleading guilty. Kline was set to be in court at 9 o'clock this morning. Prosecutors say they want Kline to get as much time in prison as possible. You can follow updates at wishtv.com. Police say a man who showed up wounded at an Indianapolis hospital is dead, and investigators now believe they know where the gunfire happened. IMPD says the first call came in just before 10 last night of a shooting near 38th and Sherman. Police at the scene there told officers that the victim was already at the hospital. He died at Community East. So far, no word on what led to the gunfire or if police know who fired the fatal shots. Today, students are set to return to class at Whiteland Community High School after a student died during PE. A memorial is growing outside the school in honor of 15-year-old Elena Dildine. The superintendent says Dildine was swimming laps with other students on Tuesday when she went under a barrier that divides the pool and didn't resurface. He says lifeguards and teachers were there. The Johnson County Coroner Office says an official cause of death should be released in the next 3 weeks. The man charged in the death of Indiana State Trooper James Bailey is asking for a change of venue in his case. Attorneys for Terry Sands II filed the request yesterday. They argue that the case should be moved because of pretrial publicity and because Bailey was well known in DeKalb County. Investigators say Sands ran over Bailey in March as Bailey helped other troopers direct traffic on I-69. Sands is charged with murder, resisting law enforcement, and causing death with a vehicle while driving under the influence. Indiana's Attorney General is again calling for Governor Holcomb to send National Guard troops to America's southern border. The call comes as towns in Texas deal with the end of Title 42 and a new wave of migrants. The governor of Texas has asked other states for resources, and a group of 23 Republican governors, including Indiana's Eric Holcomb, signed a statement of support for Abbott. In talking to our All Indiana Politics team yesterday, Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita echoed his past calls for the governor to send Indiana troops south.
Why Indiana? Why these other states? Because when there's no border, when there's no border policy, when there's lawlessness at the border, every state's a border state.
22 Guard members from Indiana have already been stationed along the border as part of a federal program. Governor Holcomb's office says he has not sent any more troops so far. The Indy 500 is 10 days away, and the newest episodes of 100 Days to Indy airs tonight. It features the build-up to Barber, the last event before the racers returned to Indianapolis. Episode 4 of 100 Days to Indy premieres at 9 o'clock on Wish TV. And the teams get another chance to chase 230 miles an hour today, with the weather looking good for a full afternoon practice session. Two-time winner Takuma Sato was quick on day one at 2:29.439. Teammates Scott Dixon and Santino Ferrucci were a few ticks behind to round out the top three. Gates open this morning at 10. Practice laps start at noon. And today, stars of pop culture, business, and technology will be in Indianapolis for VeeCon. It's billed as a super conference downtown. More than 190 speakers, from celebrities to influencers, and several events are lined up. The conference aims to blend the worlds of technology and culture together in a fun way. VeeCon 2023 is today through Saturday. Today's events are at White River State Park and include community activities and musical performances by artists like Busta Rhymes, Andrew Schultz, and Jordan Sparks. Tomorrow and Saturday are at Lucas Oil Stadium. Guests can expect jam-packed educational and inspiring sessions across multiple stages and brand activations. Indiana Fever rookie and 2023 WNBA draft #1 overall pick Aaliyah Boston is a speaker. Plus, celebrity guest speakers like Drew Barrymore and Jessica Alba will be there. The conference was established in 2022 as the first NFT-ticketed super conference. And today there's a drive to make sure pets are microchipped and up to date on vaccines. Indy Humane says it's marking Microchipping Awareness Month by hosting a mobile vaccine clinic in its parking lot on Holmes Avenue. Today's clinic is all booked up, but another one's happening July 18th. Indy Humane says you must make an appointment. The Louisville Metro Police Foundation says the officer wounded in last month's mass shooting is showing signs of improvement. The April attack at a downtown bank left 5 people dead and 8 more injured, including Officer Nick Wilt. According to the Police Foundation, Wilt arrived at a rehab center last week. The foundation says doctors are impressed with his progress so far. The foundation also says Wilt's overall condition is right on track, but doctors are monitoring a few areas closely. And the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students is headed straight to court. A grand jury indicted Brian Koberger on 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary. The grand jury indictment allows prosecutors to skip the preliminary hearing process, which would have included several days of making a case to a judge. Koberger could face the death penalty if convicted. He's not yet entered a plea. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are okay after what their spokesperson claims was a near-catastrophic car chase. It happened Tuesday night. The spokesperson says paparazzi photographers pursued the couple as they left a charity event in New York City. The couple's taxi driver says he would not call it a chase and did not feel he was in danger, but says his passengers were truly fearful.
When the paparazzi started taking pictures, I heard from the back, somebody said, "Oh my God," and then the look on their faces, you could tell that they were nervous and scared.
The mayor of New York condemned the paparazzi as reckless and irresponsible. Police say the case does not warrant further investigation. Harry's mother, Princess Diana, died in a car crash, blamed in part on overzealous paparazzi. The National Archives says that it's been called more than 80 times in 13 years about classified documents found in the hands of former U.S. officials. Top officials made the statement during testimony in front of the House Intelligence Committee yesterday. Archives officials say most of the calls came from libraries where former Congress members donated their papers for research. The testimony comes amid investigations into the handling of classified documents by President Joe Biden, former President Donald Trump, and former Vice President and Indiana Governor Mike Pence. Walgreens has reached a settlement worth $230 million over its role in San Francisco's opioid crisis. City leaders say it's the most money awarded to a local government for opioid litigation so far. A judge ruled Walgreens failed for 15 years to scrutinize prescriptions, leading to misuse of addictive drugs. The judge said pharmacies in San Francisco received more than 1.2 million prescriptions with red flags, yet investigated less than 5% of them. In a statement, Walgreens disputed any liability or fault. South Carolina is moving closer to a near-total ban on abortion. The House passed the measure yesterday. If it becomes law, all abortions would be illegal after the detection of a fetal heartbeat, typically about 6 weeks into pregnancy. Abortion advocates argue that's before many women even know they're pregnant.
We need to pass this law to save the lives of kids.
Well, let's talk about that then. I'll ask you a question about...
10 years ago, this was a very theoretical discussion, right? We had Roe in the federal court protecting us in the state. We don't have that any longer.
The bill now heads to the South Carolina State Senate next. Current South Carolina law allows abortion through 22 weeks of pregnancy. Montana is the first state in the nation to ban TikTok. The state's governor signed the legislation into law yesterday. The measure is more sweeping than less restrictive rules in place in many other states. TikTok has vowed to fight such bans in court. The law is slated to take effect in January. And to business headlines, drug shortages are near an all-time high, and that's leading to rationing. A worrisome scarcity of cancer drugs, especially, has heightened concerns about the troubled generic drug industry. Congress and the White House are seeking ways to address widespread supply problems. Uber is launching a new family program aimed at attracting a new generation of users, teenagers. Parents and caregivers will be able to set up family profiles that will allow them to link multiple Uber accounts so they can pay for rides and deliveries. And parents and caregivers will also be able to officially send teens between the ages of 13 and 17 an invitation to create an account, which will be monitored in the family profiles. Elon Musk says Twitter will try to rehire some of its laid-off staff and that some of the people he fired shouldn't have been cut. Twitter's workforce is about 90% smaller than when Elon Musk first took over in October. Amazon Prime signed a multi-year deal with the Professional Pickleball Association to provide streaming coverage of 4 tournaments a year. The coverage will kick off Thursday with a 4-day tournament. The PPA Tour's 20-plus tournaments in 2023 can be seen across a variety of platforms. Placey's new research shows 54% of Gen Z uses social media as their main search engine, compared to just 34% mostly using popular tools such as Google. The research highlights that Gen Z strongly prefers video results when searching social media. 54% of Gen Z respondents said they look at video content when searching for reviews of products, recipes, and more. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.